welcome to another video. I normally do book content and today is going to be another book video. I'm so excited for today because this is going to be 24 books I want to read in 2024. There's obviously way more than 24 books that I want to read in 2024, but I just picked out 24 and I've separated them into categories. We have new releases, books from my physical TBR, rereads, and I'm picking out one new genre that I want to focus on getting into this coming up year in 2024, and that's going to be the thriller mystery genre. Technically, that's two genres. I don't know if I'm gonna prefer more mystery or more thriller. Oops. Well, let me turn on my lights. We're gonna start off with the new releases. Obviously, there's gonna be way more than this, especially towards the end of 2024. New releases tend to be announced as the year goes on. So, you know, January, February, March, April have kind of been, for the most part, announced. But the later months of 2024, not all the new releases we know about. These are just the ones that I've picked out so far that I'm interested in reading. So, the first one is gonna be Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This is coming out February 6th. This is Ali Hazelwood's first dip into paranormal romance, I think. I've heard some people say fantasy, but I don't think it's fantasy. I think it's just paranormal romance. Could I look that up? Absolutely. Am I going to? No. I love all of Ali Hazelwood's books that she's ever put out. I've read almost all of them. I haven't read Check and Mate, but we'll get to that part in the video a little bit later. I'm excited to read a paranormal romance by her and see how it goes. Okay, continuing on, we have another one of my favorite authors that I've discovered this year is Abby Jimenez. She's coming out with a new book called Just for the Summer, and it's being released on April 2nd. They're just like, everyone says this, but they really are just like a breath of fresh air. Her writing just goes by so quickly. It's like magic. Like her writing just, it like cleanses you. I don't know how to explain it, but it's so good and I'm so excited for her new release. Another one of my favorite authors, Emily Henry, is coming out with Funny Story April as well, April 23rd. So I'm excited about that one. I read Happy Place by her this past year, and she is delving into a more of a literary fiction type space, and I would like to read it physically because I did read Happy Place on audio and I think that hindered my enjoyment of it just a little bit. I still really enjoyed it, but I think I would have liked it better if I read it physically, so we'll see if I can do that for a Funny Story. I might get it at the library. Next we have House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. This is coming out, is it January? I'm not sure. I have read House of Earth and Blood, is that the first one? And I really enjoyed it, fully annotated it. It was really long, and then I bought House of Sky and Breath, and I'm scared of it, and I haven't read it yet. Next we have a book by Tessa Bailey, Fangirl Down. She's also announced her second one in the series, The Au Pair Affair, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong on that name, but again, I could Google it, but I'm not going to. The Au Pair Affair is also coming out this year, I think, but Fangirl Down is the first one coming out in this new series by her. It's going to be a sports romance. I'm very excited. I love sports romance. I need to read more sports romance. This is coming out also in February on the 13th. We have a lot of books coming out in February, so this is very exciting. Now we have Daydream by Hannah Grace. I recently read Wildfire by Hannah Grace, really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Icebreaker, and I think Daydream is going to be my favorite. It follows the character Henry, and I've really enjoyed him throughout all the other books. I've heard a lot of the same feedback from other people in the book community, and so Daydream is going to be, I'm so excited for it. I already pre-ordered it, so my copy is going to be coming on release day. I cannot wait. Wild Love by Elsie Silver. Elsie Silver is coming out with a new small town romance series. Her first book is Wild Love. The cover could be released now, I think. By the time you're seeing this, the cover might be released. Previously, there hasn't been a cover reveal yet, so I'll see what picture I'm gonna put up on the screen for it. I know who it's about because reading the last book, you kind of get a hint of who the series follows. She writes small town, but the character that this book's following, I think, lives in the city, so I'm excited to see how that kind of goes down, coming out on April 9th. Lastly, for new releases, I'm going to mention Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. This is supposed to come out on June 11th. I don't know if that date is set in stone yet or if that's just the estimated release date, but I'm so happy we're getting two Ali Hazelwood books this year. I cannot wait. I don't know what this is about. I think it's another STEM romance, and I love her STEM romances, so I'm excited. Literally put any Ali Hazelwood book in my hands and I will read it. Now we're going to move on to books that are in my physical TBR that I need to read next year. Okay, so first off, the book that I need to read You can already see it. House of Sky and Breath is on my physical TBR. This is a monster. How many pages? I don't want to spoil it. Okay, just blur your eyeballs. 800 pages. Okay, this is not the longest book I've ever read, I don't think. I need to watch Carrie Can Read's House of Earth and Blood recap video before I go into this, because I don't want to do a whole reread of that, but I do want to be refreshed, and she does really good recap videos for Sarah J Maas series, so I'm going to watch her video. I've already watched it twice, but I'm going to rewatch it before I get to this one. Yeah, this is self-explanatory. I need to read this before House of Fire and Shadow is released in January. I also want to do a full reading vlog for this, so let me know if you'd be interested. I'm scared, but I'm excited, but I'm scared, so I'm gonna do it. I'm going to do it in January. End of story. Good Lord, trying to get these books out of my shelves is like giving me a workout today. Okay, the next book on my physical TBR is The Dare by Elle Kennedy. This is the last book in the Briar You series, and I've been working on the series for maybe a year or two now, and this is the last book. I thought I was gonna get to it this year. I still might. We'll see. We'll feel it out, but I need to finish this next year so I can just be done and mark it off my to-do list. I do wish I had the other covers, but it is okay. I'll value these one day, these original covers. Maybe never. Next is Life's Too Short by Abby Jimenez. This is the last Abby Jimenez book I have to read before her new one comes out, and I do want to get to it. I've loved all of her books so far. Yeah, it looks so happy and fun, and I think, oh, there's a bug in front of me. I see it. It's like a little, ow. It's like a little fly. Anyways, there's always a dog in her books, and this one looks like a little Frenchie. So very excited to get to this. We'll see when that happens, but it's definitely going to be before release day in June. Okay, I think, you know, I should have done this before and prepped and got all the books out before I started filming, but I didn't. Next is Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. This is Ali Hazelwood's newest release, and it is a YA rom-com. She's dipping her toes into some new genres, new age groups, which is fun. I've heard some mixed reviews on this, but I'm really excited to get to it. I love this cover. It is so adorable in the back. I'm so excited to get to it. Oh my gosh, this cover is so shiny. We have Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. This has been on my physical TBR forever and ever, and the reason I want to read this for the next year is just to get it over with. Not to get it over with because I want to enjoy it, obviously, but I want to get it off my physical TBR. This was in like the BookTube Tumblr era. Like, this was a really popular book, and I don't even know what genre it is. It says it's not a romance, could be a mystery. I have no idea, but I want to get it read and like say that I read it and get it off my physical TBR. Daisy Hates. First book in the Daisy Hates section of the Magnolia Parks universe. I did start reading this summer. I only got like 40 pages in, but I DNF'd, not because I didn't want to read it, just because I wasn't in the mood. So I guess technically I DNF'd it, but I'm gonna go back to it. This cover is so pretty. I've heard so many good things about this series. I really liked Magnolia Parks, the first book, and I know I'm going to like this one. I just need to get into it. I need to be in the right mood. Another book by Jess that I really need to get to is Never. Oh my god, I love Peter Pan retellings. They are my favorite retellings ever. Like, Peter Pan is my favorite childhood story. I've read the original J.M. Barrie version. I've been hearing a lot of different things about it. It's not my place as a white person to say if this book is offensive to people of color. If I read anything glaringly bad, obviously I'm going to say something about it, but it's not my place to tell if this story is offensive to people of color because I'm not a person of color. I can't put that out there. But I've also heard a lot of things like Jessa is a half-black woman. She told everyone to read the original J.M. Barrie version, which generally the story is problematic, and I can recognize that. The original story being problematic and this book being based on the original story, like, I don't know. I'm just not gonna, that's all I'm gonna say on it for now. I don't even know if those thoughts were concise or like made any sense, but I still really want to read this. I have a lot of hope for the story, but I also haven't read the book, so I can't for sure say what my feelings are on it. Can we just take a second to admire this cover? This is probably my favorite cover of the year. Next, I have King of Greed by Anna Huang. This is the third book in the Kings of Sin series by Anna Huang, which follows the Twisted series by Anna Huang. The fourth book is coming out this year, so I do want to get to this before the fourth book comes out. It's not my favorite series, but I want to be caught up on the series so that I'm just reading them when they release and not have a backup, because there's gonna be like 9. The last book I want to read for my physical TBR in 2024, not the last one, because there's others that I want to read. This is the last one that I've put on this list. It is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston, or Poston, however you say it. I've heard such good things about this book. Everyone has been talking about this. It is a magical realism, literary fiction, romance, is how I've heard it described. And it's very rare that everyone like agrees on how good this book is. I don't think I've heard anything negative. And so I'm intrigued. I'm not a huge magical realism girly, if I'm being honest. Like, I've read a few magical realism books, actually one this month, and it was good, but it's not something I gravitate towards. The next section of this video is a very small section. It's books I want to reread this year. The first book I want to reread this year, and not the only book in this series, is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I have a history with the Throne of Glass series. So a few years ago, maybe 2, maybe 1, I don't remember, I read up to Tower of Dawn. I got like halfway through Tower of Dawn, DNF'd. Hit a huge reading slump. Never went back to it. Don't remember a thing. But actually, I remember a few things. I've read every single book except for Kingdom of Ash. This is the year. I'm reading the entire series. My goal is to read 1 book per month out of the Throne of Glass series. My reading order: The Assassin's Blade 3rd. The reason being, the first time I read the series, I read it first. So I vaguely know what goes on in The Assassin's Blade. I'm not going to be confused going into the series. If you're a beginning fantasy girly, if you've never read Sarah J. Maas, if you generally get confused in fantasy books, I would read this first. Since I have already read the series and read this first the last time, why not switch up the reading order? Then I can know what I like better. 1 a month sounds perfect. I'll get through the whole series in the year. I'll have a goal. Every month I have to read one of these, and you know, it'll be fun. Once Upon a Broken Heart. People have been going crazy over this book for months. I read the original Caraval trilogy in middle school, high school. I want to say, like, I was waiting for finale to come out. I don't know when that is, so like double check me on the years there. I'm not trying to be like, oh, I was there when it started. No, I'm just trying to like give you the idea of when I read it. So I was like reading it when finale was going to come out. And then she came out with this series and I read it and I didn't love it. It was mid. And then everyone started freaking out over it and I was like, what's everyone freaking out over? And I really prefer the Caraval trilogy so far. It might be because I was in like the release of it and whatever, but I just didn't get the hype around this one. And then the next one came out and I bought it, and then the next one came out and I haven't bought it. And I was like, I don't even remember the series at all. So I'm going to reread it and then finish the series this year. That's my goal. So those are all the rereads. We're going on to the last section of this video. Thrillers and mysteries I want to read. Like I said, I want my new genre to be mystery thriller. The first book I have on there is Killer Instinct by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I read the Natural series this year. I think I read it in November. I read it in pretty much one sitting and I loved it. My friend Leah, shout out Leah if you're watching, is reading it like kind of at the same pace as me, so I'm hoping we can read it together. I just want to get into that genre and I really enjoyed it. Not gonna lie, it spooked me, so I might be sticking to YA, thriller and mysteries. I've heard so much about Frida McFadden in this genre. I have 2 Frida McFadden books on my TBR for next year. The Locked Door and The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. No idea what these are about. I've heard she's really good, so why not start out with the best? You know what I'm saying? Then I have one that I saw on Goodreads. It's a YA mystery thriller and it caught my eye. I entered a giveaway for it. The one that got away with murder. It's got like this necklace, jewelry, and then like blood. It just was really intriguing and I saw that it was YA. Could be a new release, could be out already. I think it's a new release. And then lastly, we have The Silent Patient. This is the iconic TikTok mystery thriller. Everyone and their mother has read this book. If I'm starting out a new genre, mystery thriller, why not read the icons, right? The Silent Patient is the icon. That is the 24 books I would like to read in 2024. Let me know if there's any others I should add to this list that like are dire, or in this list, let me know if there's any that you're like, this one should be higher. That's gonna be all for me today for the day 5 of BOOKMAS. Tune in to day 1, 2, 3, 4 of BOOKMAS and stay tuned in for tomorrow's BOOKMAS video. If you've been watching my BOOKMAS, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Again, my name's Reagan. All my socials are linked down below. Go check out my channel, like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate you being here, and that's all from me today. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye.